And one fine day, I'm just getting calls over calls from an unknown number. तो मैंने फोन उठाया और बहुत ही डिप्रेस्ड आवाज मुझे आई उधर से. तो बोला, मैम मुझे आप जानते होंगे, बट आई डोंट वांट टू टेल यू माय नेम, बट मुझे आपसे बात करनी है 2 मिनट. तो प्लीज मैम मुझे आपसे बात करनी है. तो ऐसे, हाँ बेटा बोलो क्या बात है. तो ही सेड कि he showed me one letter in which it was a suicide note कि मैं आत्महत्या करने वाला था, and for this reason, and this reason seemed to be very genuine. हर बच्चे की लाइफ में ऐसे टाइम्स आ जाते हैं जब उसे पूरा अंधेरा वगैरह दिखाई देता है सामने. और उसके फादर भी नहीं थे, मतलब बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स उसके सामने आ खड़ी हुई थी जो इसको वो कोप अप नहीं कर पा रहा था. तो आई सेड, बेटा सी, वो बोलता है, मैडम मुझे पता है आप मुझे कहेंगे कि गलत है ये, पर मैंने ऑलरेडी आई हैव डिसाइडेड नॉट टू डू इट. व्हाई? बिकॉज जस्ट व्हेन आई वाज अबाउट टू कमिट, तो वो बुक आपकी रखी हुई थी और उसमें वो पोएम थी, यस आई कमिटेड सुसाइड. वो पढ़ने के बाद मुझे इतना फील हुआ कि आई हैव डिसाइडेड कि मैं ये काम नहीं करूंगा.
Guys, it's Arya and welcome back to my channel. So the guest of this week is Mrs. Monica Panchal, who is a survivor of fatal road accident and bounced back to life, coping up with severe disability in her right hand. She is a teacher and is teaching for 17 years, a motivational speaker, founder of the Lions Club Ujjain Passion, where she dedicatedly works for social and charitable causes. After the tragic accident that happened to her, she also wrote a book called Second Innings. So let's meet her in this podcast. Hi people! So the guest of this week is Monica ji. Hello, welcome to my channel.
Hello, good afternoon, Arya.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. She will be sharing her story with us, which will inspire us a lot. So thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm so humbled.
Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Monica ji, 22 December 2013, ये हम जैसे लोगों के लिए एक बहुत ही आम तारीख हो सकती है, एक बहुत ही मामूली सी डेट हो सकती है, लेकिन इस डेट की आपके जीवन में बहुत मायने हैं. तो ऐसा क्या हुआ था उस डेट पर जो कि शायद आप अपनी जिंदगी भर नहीं भूल पाएंगी?
Of course, that was significant page in the book of my life. बहुत कुछ बदल गया उस एक दिन के बाद. The memory itself is, devastating, paralyzing, but yet, every challenge brings with it something beautiful. So the challenges, they bring out the best in you, or perhaps they are the only ways of bringing out the brilliant things which you wouldn't have done in the normal days. So I don't regret that day anymore now, as for now, but that day was definitely devastating. It was a harrowing experience. I wish nobody ever in this life should experience this kind of pain. It all began, it was 11:30 a.m. We had our school vacations. Christmas ki chuttiyan had started. But I had forgotten a pen drive in the school, which I wanted urgently because I was moving to my mother's home that very day, and I wanted that pen drive to be shown to her. So I was on my way to the school at 11:30 a.m. and I was just about to reach school, just 100 or 200 meters away, when this tragedy took place. I was on my Activa. I wanted to climb on the road with my Activa, because there was a disbalance out there. There was some rubble on the left side. Otherwise, I would have reached straight left side only. So I decided to climb on the road with my Activa, and I met with something kind of a misbalance happened. I fell on the road. And unfortunately, at the same moment, there was a truck behind, speedily coming blindly. And God bless the driver. I don't have any regrets for him, but he may not have noticed me falling, or probably he could not control the brakes, or he could not see. I don't know what happened. He ran past me, over me and over my right hand. So at that moment, I felt I'm gone. I could see the whole life flashing before me, and I could also hear the crumbling of the bones. I could feel them, and my hand was smashed. So, but fortunately or unfortunately, I was conscious. I was conscious to, unfortunately, because I had to bear all kind of, excruciating pain, which, it is just undefinable. And fortunately, I was conscious because I could call my members, I could call for help, and I reached help as early as possible. So that was also good. Otherwise, I would be lying, and before I was identified, there would have been a lot of blood loss, and I wouldn't be doing an interview with the great Arya, sweet girl here.
Thank you so much.
So that is what happened. And then people rescued, people gathered together, crowded. I still remember a lot of hundreds of feet. Just because I was sitting on the road, I could see hundreds of people gathering around me, and then somebody put me in a car. One good gentleman, I don't know him till now, but then somebody called the ambulance. Somebody called my husband, and all. I gave them the numbers also because I was conscious. So immediately I was rushed to the civil hospital first. And since we were in the Lions Club, my husband being the president at the time, so there were many doctors out there who had good contacts. So they had already spoken to the surgeons in Indore. All arrangements had been made for me. And then from here, after first aid, that was terrible pain that I have ever suffered in my whole life. That pain when they tried to put all the, whatever the remains are, the disintegrated parts of my hand, they tried to put together, and then they somehow tried to bandage it. And then we reached Indore, screaming, yelling, crying, sobbing. My daughter was there following me. She wanted to come with me, but in the ambulance they did not allow. So our principal had come, and then she said, "Okay, I'll take you." The sister and vice principal, they had taken my daughter along in their car. They were following us, and I don't know how my mother might have, just imagine what would have passed through her when she heard this news that I met with this fatal accident. And then they reached the hospital. Everybody, whoever knew me. And most importantly, at that time, there was so much of blood loss, and I'm an O negative. So the main important thing at that time was not to save my hand, but to save my life. Because now that loss was vehement, immense. So, but then thankfully, these all people had collected all the donors out there. Immediately, they had done all the needful things. I went into the surgery. After that, a lot of surgeries, one after the other. The trauma, the depression, the dressing. Every dressing I had means I had to pass through all that pain again. The bandage was removed again. It was with all kinds of tinctures and then everything. That is terrible. But then there were times. I don't say I'm a very brave person before this. There were times. Sleepless nights, there were traumas, there were nightmares. I couldn't sleep for nights together, and I had phobias for trucks. The moment I used to see the truck, I used to vomit. I used to feel it's going to come on me. So it was very difficult for me to travel on the road also. So for a month or so, the trauma was terrific. A person goes into trauma, all those kind of things happen. Then I lost my father-in-law just 1 month after my accident. And since I was not allowed to meet people because it may have an infection and my hand would be imputed. But then I was very adamant. I wanted to go and meet my father-in-law and last times and all. Somehow we did it. I went to Ujjain. And that was a terrible journey because I had to see trucks all over, and I vomited of my journey because I could not bear the sight of a truck.
Mhm.
So all the way my mother had closed my eyes and she didn't allow me to see, and just she told me one thing. I still remember. And she said, if you don't want to go to school, she knew that school is my, my paradise. And she said that if you want to go to school, you have to open your eyes, you have to bear it. Otherwise, you will not be able to go out of your house ever.
Mhm.
Be strong. She said, be strong. At that time, I made up my mind in the return journey, I'm going to open my eyes, I'm going to see all the trucks.
Mhm.
Slowly, this process, it went on, and then there were nights and nights when I was all alone because my family was here. I was staying in Indore with my parents for the dressing thing. So I had got plenty of time to think, and that's what when I decided that mm, I have to bounce back. I have to get into my not only the previous position, but I have to get back to something else. My second innings should not be, a waste. It should not go in vain. If God has given me some years to live, they should not be futile.
Mhm.
So I had been writing certain poetries now. One day my father came and told me, I was feeling bad also that I could not do the ordinary things, household things, and I used to feel the most important thing that I felt bad was that I would become dependent on others. I would not be able because my mother used to break the chapatis for me and feed me. I could not do many of my things on my own. So I felt if this is the life I'm going to have, completely dependent on others, it will be a trouble for them. And the pain, I tell you, the physical pain is okay, but the emotional pain that you have when you see others in trouble because of yourself,
Mhm.
that is more pain. So when I used to feel, my daughter was in class 10th at that time, so I used to feel that she needed my support the most at the time and not with her. My family, everybody, they were passing through a very traumatic time at that time. My father-in-law was not there. So I could not be with them. I could not support them when they needed the most. So that was ruining me from inside.
Mhm.
So one day my father came and told me, I said, now I won't be able to do all the daily chores and all. So one line my father told me, I still remember. He said, fishes are meant to swim and birds are meant to fly. You cannot interchange. You are meant to fly. So don't think about the normal swimming of in the water like a fish.
Mhm.
So if you're meant for writing something, you can write something. So be great in that only. Don't think of ordinary things that anybody else can do. What
Mhm.
you can do, think about that.
Who was your source of inspiration and motivation for that time? Your source of positivity?
My pain became my poetry, and
Mhm.
my defeat became my victory. You know, the poet's asset is, I think, his pain.
Mhm.
And of course, I told you about my father and my family members. There were many people who were, motivating me.
Mhm.
I saw a lot of motivating videos also.
Mhm.
But it has to come from within, that enlightenment.
True.
And the prayers that my children were doing, all my students, I'm so indebted to them. There was one poetry in the book. If you want, I can just relate it to you. The name of the poetry is Second Innings. Disaster's deadly ball blew its brutal blow, and grave stretched its arm for me, its loved fellow. But prayers, pleads, and blessings pulled me out. I claimed and convinced, Lord, I'm still not out.
Mhm.
There are piles to do and miles to go. My pages half written, incomplete my show. Love debts remain for a generous giving. My best scores await my second innings. My best scores await my second innings. So that's when I decided, sorry, that The second innings has to be wonderful. The years that are remaining in life have to be fruitful. Not only for me, but for all the people. And fortunately, I was in such a profession, that I could have made a difference. So that's when I decided I have to live and I have to live for a purpose.
So, Monica, Jade has always that every threat comes with an opportunity. लेकिन जो आपके साथ हुआ वो एक थ्रेट से कहीं ज्यादा था, लेकिन आपने उन परिस्थितियों को भी एक अपॉर्चुनिटी में, एक अवसर में कन्वर्ट कर दिया था. आपने एक बुक लिखी. आप अपनी बुक के बारे में कुछ बताना चाहेंगी?
बिल्कुल आर्या, बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन किया तुमने. बिकॉज पेन इज इनएविटेबल. हर एक की लाइफ में पेन तो आता ही है. वी कैन नॉट लिव अ पेनलेस लाइफ. पेन इज इनएविटेबल बट सफरिंग इज ऑप्शनल. चाहे वो इमोशनल पेन हो, मेंटल पेन हो या फिजिकल पेन हो, हर एक की लाइफ में ये आना ही है. लेकिन हमारा रिएक्शन, हमारा रिस्पॉन्स इसके लिए कैसा होता है. when mind is weak, situation is a problem. When mind is stable, situation is a challenge. When mind is strong, situation becomes an opportunity. फिर पापा ने कहा कि बुक लिखिए आप. मैंने कहा पापा, I will write a book definitely, but you tell me, English poem की books, who's gonna read? कौन चाहता है इंग्लिश की पोएम्स पढ़ना? Nobody would be interested. तो फिर पापा ने एक स्टोरी बताई थी मुझे कि बिस्लरी पानी की बोतल जब इजाद हुई थी, 15 रुपए में बिस्लरी का पानी बेचने की मुहिम बिस्लरी ने चालू की जब, तो लोग हंसते थे उनके ऊपर कि भाई पानी तो खुलेआम मिल रहा है. उस समय हम आरओ का वाटर, मिनरल वाटर नहीं पीते थे. हर नल का पानी अवेलेबल, सब लोग ड्रिंकेबल वाटर होता था. स्टेशंस पे हम ड्रिंकिंग वाटर नलों से पीते थे, है ना. तो उस समय जब उसने बिस्लरी इजाद की, तभी उसने सोचा था कि लोग बिस्लरी के अलावा अब कभी पानी नहीं पिएंगे बाहर का. सोचा था नहीं. तो एवरीथिंग न्यू, इट कम्स विद अ चैलेंज. यू हैव टू बी सो कन्विंसिंग एंड इफेक्टिव. यू हैव टू मेक अ डिफरेंस.
दैट्स ट्रू.
जब मैंने ये पोएम लिखी थी, बुक्स लिखी थी, उसमें एक पोएम है सुसाइड के बारे में. एक बच्चे ने सुसाइड कमिट किया था. तब मैं बहुत इमोशनल होके मैंने उसके लिए एक पोएम लिखी थी, एस आई कमिटेड सुसाइड. अब उससे रिलेटेड ये स्टोरी है कि एक बारी दिस बुक वन ऑफ माय चिल्ड्रन बॉट, एंड उसके ब्रदर ने, जस्ट कोइंसिडेंस होगा या आई डोंट नो, बट मे बी उस दिन उसने डिसाइड किया दैट ही इज गोइंग टू कमिट सुसाइड. And one fine day, I'm just getting calls from an unknown number. तो मैंने फोन उठाया और बहुत ही डिप्रेस्ड आवाज मुझे आई उधर से. तो बोला, मैम मुझे आप जानते होंगे, बट आई डोंट वांट टू टेल यू माय नेम, बट मुझे आपसे बात करनी है 2 मिनट. तो प्लीज मैम मुझे आपसे बात करनी है. तो ऐसे, हाँ बेटा बोलो क्या बात है. तो ही सेड कि he showed me one letter in which it was a suicide note कि मैं आत्महत्या करने वाला था, and for this reason, and his reason seemed to be very genuine. हर बच्चे की लाइफ में ऐसे टाइम्स आ जाते हैं जब उसे पूरा अंधेरा वगैरह दिखाई देता है सामने. और उसके फादर भी नहीं थे, मतलब बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स उसके सामने आ खड़ी हुई थी जिसको वो कोप अप नहीं कर पा रहा था. तो आई सेड, बेटा सी, वो बोलता है, मैडम मुझे पता है आप मुझे कहेंगे कि गलत है ये, पर मैंने ऑलरेडी आई हैव डिसाइडेड नॉट टू डू इट. व्हाई? बिकॉज जस्ट व्हेन आई वाज अबाउट टू कमिट, तो वो बुक आपकी रखी हुई थी और उसमें वो पोएम थी, यस आई कमिटेड सुसाइड. वो पढ़ने के बाद मुझे इतना फील हुआ कि आई हैव डिसाइडेड कि मैं ये काम नहीं करूंगा आज. मुझे नहीं पता वो स्टोरी सही थी, गलत थी, उसने सही कहा या झूठ कहा, जो भी कहा था, लेकिन पहली बार मुझे रियलाइज हुआ कि शायद मेरे पेन में इतनी शक्ति तो है कि किसी को कुछ गलत करने से रोक सके. तो पहली बार ये फील हुआ कि अ ड्रॉप ऑफ इंक कैन मेक मिलियंस थिंक. तब सोचा कि नहीं, पेन में बहुत ज्यादा होता है, पेन इज माइटियर देन द स्वॉर्ड, आई मस्ट टेक अप टू राइटिंग। और वो फिर कंपाइल करके वो बुक तो जा ही चुकी थी, और उसके बाद भी काफी प्रतियां इसकी बिकी थी। तो तब मुझे पापा की बात याद आती थी कि यस, पापा ने जो कहा था कि यू शुड नॉट थिंक वेदर इट विल वर्क और नॉट, जस्ट गो ऑन द इफेक्टिवनेस।
So the positivity you got, you transferred it to him.
I kept it in the book because मुझे पता है ये ऐसे विचार आ सकते हैं, क्योंकि मैं रिलेट कर सकती थी उसमें। एक समय ऐसा आ जाता है जब आपके मन में ऐसे फीलिंग्स आती हैं, लेकिन उस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे आप उसको अगर एवर्ट कर दो तो शायद वो ख्याल कभी दिमाग में ना आए, है ना। तो वो पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, वो ट्रिगर उसके लिए वो बुक बनी होगी जिसने उसको एवर्ट किया उस सिचुएशन से। तो ऐसे टाइम्स आते हैं बच्चों के या किसी के भी लाइफ में, तो अगर मेरी एक पोएट्री से किसी का इतना भला हो सकता है, आई फील कि आई एम फॉर्चुनेट दैट आई गॉट दिस लाइफ अगेन, कि कुछ तो मैं कर पाई किसी के लिए।
So मोनिका जी, जहां तक मुझे जानकारी है, you are also associated with Passion Club. So we would like to know about the Passion Club.
ये वहीं से शुरू हुआ था आर्या सिलसिला, जब मैंने सोच लिया था कि मेरी ये जो सेकेंड लाइफ है इसको मुझे व्यर्थ नहीं जाने देना है।
Okay.
The only joy of living is joy of giving. तो हमारे हस्बैंड ऑलरेडी एसोसिएटेड थे लायंस क्लब से, और मैं भी कुछ करना चाहती थी लोगों के लिए, सोशल कॉज के लिए। तो लायंस क्लब से अच्छा मुझे कोई अवसर दिखाई नहीं दिया, तो फिर मैंने एक क्लब को फाउंड किया। आई वाज द फाउंडर मेंबर, आई बिकेम अ चार्टर प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ लायंस क्लब पैशन। उसमें मैंने 36 मेंबर्स इकट्ठे किए, स्कूल्स में प्रोफेसर्स, डॉक्टर्स, ऐसे लोग जो जेन्युइनली चाहते थे कि हम किसी की लाइफ में कुछ डिफरेंस करें। तो हम लोग इकट्ठा होते हैं, जितना हमसे बन पड़ता है हम सोशल कॉज करते हैं। मे बी हम लोग ब्लड डोनेशन कैंप्स लगाते हैं, हम लोग डिसेबल्स के लिए इंस्पिरेशनल चीजें करते हैं, मोटिवेशन उनको देते हैं, या फिर उनके लिए कुछ स्टेशनरी आइटम्स लेकर के जाते हैं, जितना हमसे हो पाता। तो इस तरह की एक्टिविटीज हम करते हैं जहां हमें दिल से सुकून मिलता है, द रियल जॉय ऑफ हैप्पीनेस जिसको कहते हैं, इट कम्स थ्रू गिविंग ओनली, दैट आई रियलाइज्ड। एक मुझे कोटेशन याद आ गया इस बात पर, I had the blues that I had no shoes until I saw a man on the street without feet. तो हम दुनिया में कितना गम है, मेरा गम कितना कम है जब हम दूसरे डिसेबल्स को देखते हैं ना आर्या, तो हमारी आंखों से ये अश्रुधाराएं रुक ही नहीं सकती है उनका गम देखकर। अगर हम थोड़ा सा भी इनके लिए कुछ कर पाए तो अपने आप को धन्य मानते हैं कि हम उनके लिए कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम हमारे लिए कुछ कर रहे हैं। Solve for us because it gives us happiness. It may or may not satisfy them or give them pleasure, but we are doing it for us. और ये जो कर्ज मिला, देना उतारना है, जो भगवान ने इतनी अच्छी जिंदगी दी है हमें, उसका कर्ज उतारना है ना, तो कैसे उतारेंगे? कुछ अच्छा तो करना ही पड़ेगा इस लाइफ में।
So the club is all about passing happiness to other people.
Trying a level best to.
So I assume that you must be right-handed before the surgery.
Yeah.
So how you learn to write? Like आपने हाथ change किया था because that's the only possible way.
Yeah. That was first earlier when I underwent my 3 surgeries. At that time, I could not bend my hand. My elbow would not turn. I was not able to bring it into the writing position. That way, I learned writing with my left hand. Okay. But after the 2 surgeries, that means altogether 5 surgeries I underwent. So after 5th surgery, I could move my hand from my shoulder like this. So I was able to form letters. So that way, when my right hand gets tired, I use the left hand. Some days back, I saw this video of Carol Tucker. He was a shooter. He lost his who lost his right hand, but still managed, to get 2 Olympics medals, gold medals with his left hand. And then there was Arunima Singh, who lost both her legs and climbed Mount Everest. So they can do it. It's a very small challenge for me to write. And since I'm in teaching profession, my life should be iconic because I have to set an example
That's
to
true.
others. Children, they don't do what you say; they do what you do. They observe very keenly. You must be knowing that very well, Arya. Yes, being a student, you must be knowing that very well. So you have to walk your talk. So if I tell my children something motivational, something about positivity, and if I myself get depressed, I'm not a good example for them. So you have to lead by example. That's it. So today I'm happy to tell you that I can write with both the hands together also, in 2 different languages also.
So you are an ambidextrous now.
Yeah.
So you mean that everything just kept motivating you and you were unstoppable?
I think that is my trigger because if I don't do it, I don't know how would I inspire my children. Because I am just not in the teaching profession. I don't believe that a teacher is just a teacher, a sage on the stage. No, I feel the impact of the teacher is forever. We still remember our teachers, isn't it? Our teacher is a little conscience sitting inside us and telling us, not to do anything unethical. How does it come? So I know the impact of the teacher. Teachers, they implant the seed of thought into a student, which again will become a tree, which again will become fruits, which again will develop into thousands of seeds. So you do not know how much a teacher can be effective. So one little gesture, one little word out of way, and then you are inspiring them wrongly. So every move has to be, has to be positive.
So as you're a teacher, so at what point of your life you decided that you want to pass on your knowledge to the students? What inspired you? What motivated you to be a teacher?
I'm not a teacher by accident. Actually, I wanted to come in the teaching field only, whether it was being a professor or being a teacher. And I love my job. I love my profession because I'm not teaching to make a living, I live to teach how to live. So I want to inspire my children because they are the future of tomorrow. And if we teach them how to paint the canvas of the world as red or blue or green and not black, we are the ones who are going to teach them. So if we sow the seeds of love, they will generate love. If we sow the seeds of hatred, they are going to, hatred is going to spread everywhere. So a teacher has a very, very important role, and definitely I wanted to be a teacher so that these thoughts, these seeds, they propagate in the world.
So you've been teaching for 17 years. So what are the differences you notice in the students then and in the students now?
Oh my God, there is a drastic change. Way back in 2003, we had, the children are not to be blamed actually. The children, what has happened today, now in those times there was the impact of internet was not there. Now when you get the children, they are disintegrated mind. I don't say the mind of the child is useless. I feel the mind of the child is used less. We do not get 100% mind of the child today in the classroom. It's all disintegrated. Some portion to the internet, some portion to the coaching class, some portion to the friends, some portion to the parents. So what we get is just the 10% of what we used to get earlier.
Mhm.
And basically the child feels today's child, in the class, at the backdrop of his mind, he knows that if I'm sitting in a particular class, I have other ways of knowledge available too. He's not completely dependent on one teacher for his knowledge. So that is why the attention thing that we used to have earlier, now he feels that if I'm not attentive in a particular class, I may have sources where I can get the knowledge from, maybe from coaching, from reference books,
From the internet itself.
from internet and all.
Mhm.
So that is why the difference comes. And the child, he remains confused all the time. Which source is better, and he remains unsatisfied also.
Mhm.
You must be knowing it better, Arya. Today's time children.
Mhm.
So definitely electronics has helped a lot. But what is missing is the real emotional rapport that we have with children.
That's. Mhm.
And the effectiveness. See, I believe that we may become techno efficient. There's a difference between becoming efficient and becoming effective.
Mhm.
We may become techno efficient, but are we effective? That is important. How much impact a teacher causes, that is important. So when we get 100% of the brain of the child, alert brain of the child, definitely the impact is more,
Mhm.
isn't it? So that is the difference, the impact.
Mhm.
I have been watching some YouTube videos of the lessons that are there already, and there is a pressure on the teacher as well that they have to complete that very video into 5 minutes or 10 minutes. That chapter has to be completed.
That's.
So the teacher would be very, very precise. She will be completing the course. She will be telling you everything about the lesson, the meanings, and everything.
Mhm.
But probably the 45 minutes that a class teacher gets, the teacher in the class gets, and face-to-face impact. When the child is not in the mood of studying, when he is high spirited, how to bring him in the high spirits,
Mhm.
and how to develop the interest, the backdrop stories, the underlying meaning, the underlying philosophy. So you can tell a lot of things, basically related to life skills when it comes to English teaching. It's completely related to life skills.
I still remember one story from maybe fifth, sixth class. I remember it, and it was about the robots teaching the students. But who will teach them all those things, all the moral values that you get from your teachers?
So you can definitely have a greater impact as compared to the online teaching.
Mm-hmm. So, Monica ji, your life must have changed drastically after the things that happened to you, after the surgery happened to you. So, what were the changes and how you coped up with them? What do you have to go through?
Initially, of course, it was very difficult. Little things were like big challenges for me. When you take a glass of water from the pail, what do? With the right hand, you remove the lid, and your left hand, And for me, it was taking double time. With left hand, everything, putting it down, then filling the glass, then putting the lid with the left hand. So like that, everything had changed for me. My lifestyle had changed with me. Opening the fridge and putting on the gas, putting on the clothes, everything was difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And slowly I managed. Now, earlier it was a conscious effort. Now it has become a part of me. There are some things that will be remaining as a disability is there. So some of the things will be there. Will I be devoid of some kind of pleasures and some kind of, not exactly pleasures, but yes, like for example, I cannot drive a two-wheeler now.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing I miss is being completely self-dependent. I don't want to trouble others, although there are many ways in which they manage for me.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to be dependent on others completely. So that is one thing. 90% of the things I manage myself, but that very 10%, and there's a constant fight among yourself that you want to do it better than what the normals do. There is a constant challenge. You want to be in the mainstream. You don't want to be called a disabled or a handicap. And if I must tell you once, for the first time I heard this word for me, handicap. That was really
Terrible. Very terrible.
terrible. I'll tell you, once we were, in the 2-3 years back when I used to wear braces.
Mhm.
I had worn around 9 braces of different kinds. Those artificial limbs ones and all that.
Mhm.
So once I used to wear that brace, and I was going to the temple, Sai Baba temple in Shidi. So, what happened, that my family and all people were there with me, and my cousin was there with me. So one of the lady police, she came and she took me, held my hand, me and my cousin. She took me just in front and she made me. And there was a hell lot of crowd out there. Thousands of people were standing in the queue, but she brought me just right in front of God. So I thought it's a privilege, she's taken me, and why she's taken me. And suddenly one lady police called and said, "Why did you bring her here?" Probably she may not have noticed the brace. So this one is calling me, "Arey, handicap hai wo, handicap hai." So that, burnt my ears like anything. For the first time I heard this word handicap for me, and then so I was standing just in front of God, and I was saying, I'm enjoying this privilege just because of the disability, So tears started rolling out of my eyes, and I did not know what to do at that moment. At one side I said, I am getting this privilege of standing, this honor of standing right in front of you, but I didn't want to be here because of my disability. So that was a battling situation, but then I got over this. And now the movement of my hands, even the doctors cannot believe how well they function. So I've got over this now. Quite a lot of functions I can do it myself. Normally people do not make out if I'm wearing a covered, sleeve dress. So that's it. The times of the past.
Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful story. Do you have a last message for us?
Yes, I do have. Because, when you pass through all these things, you see life very closely. And when you've seen death very closely, you realize how important life is to you. And what has to be done and what hasn't to be done. When you're escaping from death, you realize how important life is for you and what should be done, your gut feeling. I really believe in gut feeling, sometimes it happens when our head and our practicality might tell us something. We should listen always to our heart. There's one poem that I always like and I always recite in some of the seminars of mine. जब प्याली टूटे आशा की, जब प्याली टूटे आशा की और किरचे चुभे निराशा की, जब चहुं बीच अंधियारा हो, जब कोई नहीं सहारा हो, जब मोती मिले बुराई पर और आग मिले अच्छाई पर, तब अंगारे तुम चुन लेना बस अपने मन की सुन। जब विपदाओं में हाथ न दे, जब कोई तुम्हारा साथ न दे, जब पाप का गूंजे अठास, सर्वत्र घृणा का हो वास, तम की कालिक से घबरा कर तुम कभी न कोई अवगुण लेना, बस अपने मन की सुन लेना, बस अपने मन की सुन।
It was a beautiful poetry.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much for inviting me. God bless you.
If you are new to my channel, subscribe to my channel and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you can get the latest updates. Comment down below what's your reaction on this video. Like this video and share this video as much as possible.